Hello and welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be playing Inscryption. I talked about this in my Celeste videos. I wanted to make a video on it. If you haven't heard of this game, it is a deck building card game where you have to collect cards to create a deck to beat enemies. I'll explain it as we go because it is a little bit confusing. And this is the Casey's mod version of the game. There is a story mode that you can play, which I think is really fun, and as most people think it's really fun too. But the Casey's mod is like an endless mode. I have played challenges, that's why it's saying that my challenge points requirements are low, but I just wanted to do a quick video on it, not do any challenges, kind of just introduce the game so that I can make videos on it in the future and people can understand it. So, the way the game works, I will try to explain as best I can, is that you have this deck of cards. So right now I'm trading with someone. The game gives you 2 pelts right away to trade. So I'm trading to get cards to put into my deck. Some cost bones and others cost blood to play. And I will explain those once we actually get into combat so that I can explain what everything does. One of the other great parts about this game is it gives you these totems that you can use. So like with this insect head, later on you'll see I'm able to get a totem that affects all my insects. So this is how the game works. At the start of your turn, you'll draw 4 cards. You have your actual playable cards right here, and then you also have squirrels over here that you'll see. And the way the game works is some cards cost bones. So right here, this Rattler costs 6 bones to play. Every time a creature dies, I get 1 bone. And then I have to sacrifice other creatures in order to put those creatures on the board. But the black goat has a special property that you can see down here, this sigil, that says worthy sacrifice. A card bearing the sigil is counted as 3 blood rather than 1 blood when sacrificed. So instead of this field mice costing 2 blood, instead of having to sacrifice 2 cards, I can just sacrifice 1. Place that there. And because of the special sigil this has, I get the card bearing the sigil is played, a copy of it is created in your hand. So I get another field mice in my hand. Isn't super helpful, because it'll cost another 2 blood to pay. And then, as you saw, when I ended my turn, my card attacked, his cards attacked, and that is the health that we have up here. This determines who's winning. You get 5 hits each, and if you push it to your enemy's side, you win. Each card has an attack and health, so my field mice have 2 attack on the left, and then 2 health on the right. And normally the better cards cost more. And some creatures, like the birds here, have flying, so if you saw earlier, they flew over top of my card and hit me directly. Because you can kill either the cards in front of you, or if you hit an empty space, you'll do damage to your opponent. And right now, I don't really have a lot of options, so we're just going to skip ahead. Now I got 2 squirrels, so I'm able to play 2 squirrels, which are 0 cost cards. And then with that, I can sacrifice both of them to play my field mice. Over here you can see how many bones I have. So I'm not able to play my Rattler yet because I only have 4 and I need 6. And yeah, we're probably just going to let this play out until I win, because he's only going to do 1 damage back. And then I am able to end my turn, and I win. And any damage you do over the 5 damage you need to beat him, you get golden teeth, which are your currency in this game. And you're able to spend those right here, which is the shop, where you can buy pelts, and then later down the line you're able to trade those pelts for better cards. But since I don't have many teeth, we're gonna head to the pickaxe. And this is just a random chance thing. Pick a random boulder, and look, I got a golden pelt. So now when I find the trader later, I'll be able to trade that for a really good card. So this is a campfire. I'm able to place one of my cards on there to increase how much damage it does. And right now, I think I'm actually going to upgrade my mole, because he's only a 1 cost and he has 4 health. So getting him to actually do 1 damage is pretty good. I could push my luck and try to get him to have more damage, but there's a chance the people around the campfire will kill it, and I don't really want that. Alright, so as you can see, when you jump into combat, the pelts you collect also can come in your hand, which can really muddy up your deck, so it's nice to get them out as quick as possible. And yeah, you're able to look at what your opponent's going to play. And all these little sigils that they all have, they all do something different. So like the porcupines, whenever the porcupine is attacked, he'll deal 1 damage back. It's a real, I wouldn't say simple game. There's definitely a lot that goes into it, because you got to think about where to place your stuff. Like right there, if I would have placed my field mice over on this side, the coyote does 2 damage, so it would have killed it, and the porcupine does 1, but then when my field mice attacked it, it would have killed it. So for the moment, we're going to be trading 3 damage for 2, so we're going to have to hopefully pull some better cards, or we're going to die. Each time you pull a card from your deck, or whenever you start the game, it is random which cards you get in your hand. So it can be rough. The whole point is to try and build up a deck that you like, or that will work well. Oh, and right here, my opponent is surrendering because he believes that he's going to lose and that there's no point in dragging the game out. Normally, I would say not to do that, because if you do get the overkill damage, whenever the golden teeth at the end, if you're able to get overkill damage, it is very useful for getting those pelts later on. So even though I could end the game right now, I'm actually going to draw at least 3 more squirrels, because once I do that, blip, brop, beep, kill all of them, I can play my moose buck. He does 3 damage, and hopefully I'll be able to get my field mice out before he kills him. Yep. So then with these 2 squirrels, I'm able to get my field mice out, and then we'll be doing 5 damage, which is 4 over what we need, so we'll get some extra money. So this is where a critical part of the game comes in. You're able to choose cards to add to your deck, and you can see my deck here. So right now, we don't really have a lot of synergy going on. We have a 3 cost, a 2 cost, a 1 cost, sick bones cost, and not a lot of synergy going on. I'm really basically just hoping to get like mole early on, and then field mice, and then moose buck, which is not a great strategy. So getting something like a sparrow is pretty good because it's a 1 cost. Elk is 2 cost, but as you can see, the damage and health are higher on the higher cost cards. This card, a little fucky, but that's because this game has a whole ARG attached to it. There's a hidden lore. Basically, if I pick this card up, it'll turn into a random card every time I draw it, which I'm not a huge fan of, and I don't really want the sparrow or the elk, so I'm going to use my reroll here to see if I can get something better. Now these are much better. I like the mantis a lot because he has bifurcated strike, which means he'll attack in 2 different positions. And if you're able to upgrade him at the fire, that can be really good. Unfortunately, we got the one that increases health, which is still good, because having more health on anything is great, but I was really hoping to get my Jesus. I was really hoping to get my mantis powered up. But I'll probably still give him the health, because with the mantis, he's really weak. He's only got 1 health, but that's because he's a powerful card. Okay, so here's a good example of some situations you can get into. Right now, I will die if I play my turn, because I only have 1 more health, and the porcupine and coyote are attacking, which is 3 damage. Plus, the sparrow is going to come in, and that means 4 damage. But I don't have anything I can sacrifice to get my mole out, except for my mantis. But if I get my mantis out, then that is sacrificing 1 damage I'm going to do to him. So we got our items over here. I'm going to bust out an emergency squirrel. Love him. So with that, I can play my mole. And my mole is going to tank the damage from both the porcupine and coyote, and then he'll be able to kill the coyote. Yeah, I would expect a lot more editing in this one. It might seem a little bit more choppy, just because of there's going to be a lot more moments of silence. Like I said, this game isn't really like Celeste, where I can just sit here and ramble on. So I'm taking my time more. I got to think about my plays a little bit more. Like right now, I'm trying to figure out what exactly I could do. Because I could sacrifice my mole to get the black goat out, to get the moose buck out. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. I can sacrifice my mole, play my black goat, sacrifice the black goat to play the moose buck. And yeah, we should stay alive this round. Because we're only going to be trading 1 damage here for the 1 damage the mantis will do to this space. And yeah, at this point we kind of just let it ride until we win. Now this is pretty interesting. I could get another mantis here, and I do like the mantises a lot. But you see the little mushroom here? What that's telling me is that later down the line I can combine my 2 mantises to make them stronger. And I think that's what I'm going to go for. Not really a lot of options I like here. I could get flying, which would make all my bugs flying. But then that means both my mantises are flying. And I don't know if I love that, because I normally like using them to attack creatures, not my enemy. So for now, we're just going to take another head so that my bugs aren't forced to fly. This is a fun one. So with this card sigil thingy going on here, I'm able to sacrifice one of my cards. So let's use the field mice. And then if I can put the sigil they have on another card. So the field mice have it whenever it's played, another copy of it is returned to your hand. And I would prefer it if that was on something like my black goat maybe, because then I could sacrifice more creatures to get more out. But I think I'm actually going to go with the mantis here, because that means I'll be able to get way more mantises in my deck, because anytime I play that card I'll get another mantis. And here we are at our first boss fight against the Prospector. So all the boss fights in this game are pretty unique. They each have a kind of gimmick with them. This one, I played the game so I know any cards I play he's going to end up destroying. So it's really useful to kill the pack mule here, because if you kill it, you'll get 5 cards from it. But while worrying about that, you also still have to worry about, surviving, which is hard to do whenever he plays a lot of high damaging cards. You'll see as the game goes on, he really likes to play high damaging cards. So it's almost like a race against the clock to try to kill the pack mule and kill him. Moosebuck early is pretty good here because we can blast through his first phase, but that will mean that his second phase, when he destroys our card, will be losing a powerful card. But I think I'm going to go for it. And now here, I could play this Rattler here. I have 6 bones. But I'm actually going to hold off because I know the Moosebuck will kill him. I'm going to take 2 damage, but I know I can survive it. And hopefully the Moosebuck can clean up phase 1 of the fight so that we're not too worried. And here's all the cards I get for killing his pack mule. You know what? I'm actually going to sacrifice one of my mantises in the first phase in order to hopefully finish this fight right here. So that's phase 1 done. And like I said, he's gonna say there's gold in them cards, and then boom. Yep, all my cards die. Which does suck. But the nice thing the game does is it skips his turn, so you don't have to worry about him hurting you real bad. But then with this basically free turn I get, I'm going to play my Rattler, which is going to do a nice 3 damage, and then his dog's going to come in, attack that, and then I gotta draw a card first. Just going to play a squirrel here, drop down an elk fawn, and there we go. That's first boss fight done. This game has an incredible atmosphere to it. It's a lot harder to enjoy it whenever you're listening to some dumbass ramble, but the whole cabin setting with this guy who's basically being a dungeon master for you while you play this game, it has such a good aesthetic to it. The music, you guys probably won't be able to hear, but the music is so good in this too. And this card is great to see. Mantis God. He's basically like the mantises that I have, but instead of hitting in 2 places, he hits in 3. I really like the Mantis God, so I am going to take that. So because we beat the first boss, we're now in the second area. Have a lot more options of places to go. I still would like to get a nice totem, and I'm probably going to go for a bug totem because I have a lot of bugs in my deck right now. But first we get to run into this little guy who will give us trials. So this is the Trial of the Wisdom. We have to draw 3 cards, and they must have at least 3 sigils. Trial of Blood needs to cost, all my cards I draw need to cost 4 blood, or the Trial of Kin. 2 of the 3 creatures I draw need to be kin. So blood cost is probably not a good one for me to go for because all my cards are 1 cost or bone and nothing. Unless I draw the moose, you know, I don't really have a chance of getting the 4 blood one. The sigil ones also I could go for because almost all my cards have sigils except for these 2. And the Trial of the Kin I could also go for because I do have 3 bugs in here and I would only need to pull 2 of them. Or even my Black Goat and Moose Buck. I think I'm going to go for the Trial of Kin though. Come on, baby. Oh, we got it. I can't believe it. We got the Moose Buck and the Black Goat. So because we passed his trial, we now get a special card that has a whole lot of shit on it. I'm probably going to go for the Magpie here. I could explain what every single one of these things do, but I'm not really going to. I'm going to go for the Magpie because, 1, it's unkillable, so every time I play this card and it dies, it'll come right back to my hand. If something attacks it, like the Porcupine, it'll get 1 damage to it. Every time I play it, I also get to search my deck and play whatever card I want, and it's flying. But I don't really care about it attacking. It's more of a tactical card that I can use to get any other card I want. Okay, so this is pretty crazy. So, with my mostly bug deck that I have so far, you know, I have the 2 Mantises and the Mantis God, and I want to keep going down the route of bugs since that's what the game gave me. I could get many lives, which means I can sacrifice those creatures, but they don't die. But I could also get Ant Spawner, which every time I play this card, it'll spawn an ant in my hand, which does count as a bug, which means I can basically get infinite ants. So I think I'm going to go for that, because that sounds kind of crazy, but I guess we'll see how good it is. And again, sorry if this isn't as entertaining as my Celeste playthrough. I guess I'll see what people think, anyone who watches this. And if this is really boring, I won't play any more of it. I like playing games that I want to play, and I'm going to keep doing that. And we got a really strong start here with Black Goat and Moose Buck all together, so we're able to just straight away get our Moose Buck out here, which is immediately 3 damage, which is super powerful, because we'll probably just win next turn. Nope, because, well, actually, yeah, we're going to win this turn, because, oh wait, no, we're not, damn it. So I can play my Mantis here. And there, see, because I played a bug card that has the ant sigil on it, I now get a worker ant who also has the ant sigil on it. And the reason why ants are crazy is because their damage is how many ants you have on the board. So if you get 4 ants across your whole board, each one of them will be doing 4 damage, which is incredibly strong. And what the heck, we'll throw the ant out there just to have a party. And yeah, you see, I played an ant and I get an ant back. So I basically have infinite ants right now, which is a really strong thing to have. But we do win on this turn, which is great. Bunch of overkill too, so we get nice money we could spend later on. Here we are at another campfire. Increase the power of a card. And I'm absolutely increasing the Mantis God because he will go from doing 3 damage basically to doing 6. Mantis Gods are super powerful to upgrade their power, because even though they only start at 1, as soon as they go up to 2, they're doing insane damage. What do I want to do next? We'll just do a regular fight. Oh my god, I just keep getting fucking crazy starts. Okay, so again, right away, we're able to play Squirrel, Black Goat, and then Moose Buck. And I never explained what my Moose Buck does. Basically, his little special thing is at the end of my turn, he'll move over 1 space and push any cards in that same direction. So he does move around, which can make it tricky to play cards where you want to play them. But with 3 damage and 7 health, he's always useful to have somewhere. And plus, on top of that, right away, we're able to play our Mantis, which is... Oh my god, I forgot. This is actually a crazy deck. I recorded this video thinking I was gonna just have to work really hard, maybe even die. But with this deck I have, this is pretty insane, I'm not gonna lie. Because, again, we just win right away. I could either play my Mantis again, or I'll just play my Worker Ant, because they're both going to deal only 1 damage. Oh my god, this is so crazy. Because now, this Mantis would only do 2 damage, because he's attacking that empty space in that one, and this Ant's doing 1 damage. But if I get rid of the Mantis and throw down another Worker Ant, they're both doing 2 damage. So that's a total of 4. And, yeah, I could just leave it at that. But if I also got rid of my Moose Buck here, they're all now doing 3. So now I am doing 9 damage, which is going to be a bunch of overkill for us. God, this build is fucking insane. Holy shit. So, how's everyone been? How's summer treating you? At least it's summer where I am. And that's... I guess I realized I never mentioned it, so, I mean, I'm sure you can tell what it is. But I have a fucking AC on in the background, and I know it's annoying, and like I said before, there's not much I can really do about it for a while, because it's way too damn hot. I don't survive in summer well, so until it gets cool enough to where I can turn it off, I'm just gonna have to have it on in the background. Once winter comes, it will get a lot better because that noise will be gone. And also, by that time, I do want to get a better mic because I know my mic sounds like shit. So yeah, one of the real interesting things about this deck that I have is that I'm constantly spitting out more ants with all the different cards I have to play. So I constantly have cards to play. It's the blood cost is the problem because I have to sacrifice, they're 1 blood cost, so I have to sacrifice something to play them. So, like, even though I could sacrifice both these Mantises in order to play these Worker Ants, I'm actually going to let the Mantises play for, I think, 1 more turn, because it'll kill this and the Porcupine, and the Raven will take some damage, and then I can throw down my Worker Ants to boost the damage on all of them. And on the flip side of what I said earlier about if you find this incredibly boring and you don't want me to play it again, if you find it entertaining, you know, let me know. I can play more of it. I doubt anyone's gonna say that this is more entertaining than what I was doing before, but I don't know. I'm a big fan of strategy games, and I do like showcasing games to other people that might enjoy them. So if someone sees this that's never played Inscryption and wants to try it out, watching someone play Casey's mod's a pretty good way to get an idea what the game's about without having the story spoiled for you. The story's a big part of it. Oh, add another trial. I'm probably just gonna go for the wisdom one, 3 sigils, because I have more sigils than heart or bone cost cards. So come on, show me. There we go. I win. That means I get another very good card. Oh my god, I can get even more ants. What in the fuck is happening? So I am going to take the alpha here. He is really cool. He costs 4 bones to play, which is pretty easy to get, but he also increases the damage of both cards beside of him, but he only deals 1 damage himself, so he's a good support card, but also combining that with ants, as he's an ant spawner, that's a pretty good card. Here, we're able to restock our items. I'm just going to grab another emergency squirrel. I don't really need much else. Here's the totem lady again. I am not changing my build at all, so I'm just going to grab whatever and give me back my bug ant spawner boys. Love my little buggy boys. And we're on to the last boss fight. Not the last boss fight. I don't know why I said last. We're on to the second boss fight. But guess what? You're getting cucked, because this is where I'm going to end the first episode. I'm going to finish this run at least, so expect at least 1 more episode of this. You know, comment down below if you hate it. Comment in if you love it. Comment if you don't care at all. I don't care. I am gonna end the video here though. Get a little, get a little cliffhanger going on. Am I gonna beat the next boss fight? Who knows? Maybe. Probably. But hey, come back tomorrow and you'll get to see the thrilling conclusion of my Inscryption run. Alright, adios.